Hey, I'm Anastasia. Please like and subscribe. Mummy, can you leave me a bedtime story?
Please, leave me alone. Go ask your dad.
Daddy, look, I was outside playing and stepped in the poop, see?
Oh, stay away from me.
My nanny looked after me, mostly because my parents were super busy with their careers, and she always called me Miss. So I thought my real name was Stay Away From Me. It wasn't until my first day of kindergarten that I found out I was wrong.
And what's your name, sweetie?
Stay away from me.
Excuse me? What did you just say?
Stay away from me. Next thing I knew, my parents and I were sitting in the principal's office. Sure, I got into trouble, but at least my parents used my name more after that. And when I was 4, something amazing happened. My sister Isabella was born and she was beautiful.
Oh, I have the most beautiful daughter anyone could ask for.
I was so bummed by what she said that I stuck my tongue out at her, but I got over it soon enough. I finally had someone to play with, or so I thought. You see, Mom didn't want me near Isabella.
Shoo, go away.
One night, when Isabella was tossing and turning and suddenly cried out loudly, I gently sang her a lullaby, and before long, she was sound asleep. T felt like the best big sister ever, but we never had a shot at getting close because of the way my parents treated us. They were less busy with work now and spent all their time fawning over Isabella and spoiling her while completely ignoring me.
You know what I see in the mirror? I see 2 beautiful girls with unlimited potential. Anna, how long have you been standing here?
I was here first, brushing my hair. You didn't even see me. They'd whisk Isabella off to the mall or spa, and one time they even took her to Paris while I was stuck with the neighbor and turned 9 cats. It bothered me a lot at first, but eventually I just kind of got used to it. But my parents were slowly turning Isabella into a monster who bullied them and threw a fit anytime she didn't get her way. She would try to boss me around too, but I mostly wouldn't give in, which didn't sit too well with her. Just like now, while I was eating spaghetti, she turned to me with a mysterious look.
Spaghetti and worms taste the same, don't you think?
What? My stomach churned when I looked on my plate, and sure enough, there were worms mixed together with my spaghetti. When I told my parents, they told me it was a harmless prank. Every time Isabella did something to me, they would make excuses for her and brush it off. The weekend before middle school, I bought this super cute outfit for my first day and I couldn't wait to put it on. But when I was getting ready, I couldn't find it anywhere. That is until I entered the kitchen and there sat Isabella in my outfit. Isabella, that's mine.
Hey, it looks better on me. I look like a doll.
I rushed over to Isabella and tried to pull my outfit off of her when Mom dragged me away.
Anna, what are you doing to your little sister?
I want her to take off my clothes.
Oh, is that what you want? You should have said it nicely.
And then she took a pen and drew all over the dress. Oh my God, you're such a psycho. Mom, aren't you going to say anything?
Yes, if you knew how to share your things, you could both enjoy them. But now look at what you made your sister do, Anna.
I could pull my hair out. There was no winning against this brat when she had some magic spell cast on my parents. As I grew older, I just avoided my family as much as I could and baited into the background. I decided to focus on what I loved best, singing, and I became quite good at it, but I only realized exactly how good I was when I was 16. 2 months before high school started, I'd taken up a small gig at a cafe to sing occasionally, and when I was done, a stunning lady approached me.
Hi, I'm Gigi. You have a beautiful voice. I'd like to sign you up as a singer.
What, you want me?
Yes, I could make you a star.
It was an offer I couldn't refuse. I gave Gigi my address, and when she arrived at my house later that evening, my parents were quite surprised, and Isa looked so jealous.
Why would you want to sign her up?
Because she's talented,
But her look?
can be altered to look the part.
What do you mean, altered?
By the time my people are done with you, you won't even recognize yourself, kiddo.
The following week, I went to the studio with Gigi, and I felt like I was in a dream. And after rehearsals, Gigi's makeup artist took over, and she was right. I barely recognized myself. I looked amazing. When I got home, Mom looked shocked.
Oh my God, Anna, you look stunning.
My heart flipped with excitement. Did my mother just give me a compliment?
I'm as stunning as a chicken in a jumpsuit?
Later that week, Mom took me shopping. In fact, over the next 2 weeks, Mom and I spent a lot of time together. We went to spas, dinners, and we even spent a day in Paris. I'd picked up a few things there for Isabella, but when I went to give it to her, she dumped everything on my head.
You think you're better than me because of this music? It's your days are numbered, witch.
Did my baby sister just threaten me? I was too busy to think too much about what Isabella said. I worked hard and released my first album. By the time I started high school, I was already famous.
OMG, her skin is flawless.
She's such an amazing singer.
I can carry your books around.
But life just had to give me lemons, and this lemon was Mandy, the meanest and richest girl in school. She transferred to our school the year before and was the most popular girl around. But clearly I dethroned her now because I had way more fans and social media followers than her, and she just couldn't handle it.
Others may have forgotten how ugly you really are, but I'll never forget, and I'll make sure the others don't either.
I tried to ignore her and just enjoy my newfound fame. But of course Andy did everything to ruin it. Just before the performance, I realized my instrument had vanished. It turned out she had hidden it. After rummaging through every corner in vain, I suddenly spotted a mysterious box. Curiosity got the better of me, so I opened it and was immediately startled by what lay inside. One day, while I was out shopping, I suddenly noticed Mandy and Isabella whispering something to each other. Mandy, what are you doing with my sister?
Mind your business, Anna. She's my friend and way better than you.
Isa, she can't be that nice. She's just trying to lure you. Come with me now. But Isa ran off with Mandy. Stay away from my sister, Mandy. They're always inseparable. If they want to form an Anastasia hate club, fine, I'm busy preparing my first concert arranged by Gigi to boost album sales. On the night of the concert, my family came to support me and I was so excited. I grabbed the mic and stepped onto the stage confidently, and I was totally owning it. Everything was going great until someone from the crowd screamed and pointed at the chandelier above me, which was falling down. One of my guitar players rushed out to help me. Before I could even understand what had happened, Gigi had already taken me to the hospital for a checkup. But as I was leaving, I spotted Mandy's face in the crowd. I couldn't get rid of the thought that she had something to do with this incident. A few days later, I came across the opportunity of a lifetime. There was one spot open in the most prestigious music college, and they'd be visiting the school in 3 months to hold auditions. I just had to get that scholarship.
You can drool on that spot all you want, but it's mine.
Gosh, why was the world always putting Mandy and me against each other? She played the piano and she was good, like Beethoven good. I couldn't let her win this. I threw myself into practice. After rehearsals with Gigi, I'd stay back in the studio and practice for my big day. One evening, as I was walking home after practice, I saw Mandy rummaging through a trash bin. Mandy is the richest girl in school. Why would she do that? I followed Mandy until she went into the bad part of town. The houses were small and shabby, and I watched as she entered one of them. What on earth? I needed to know what was happening, so I walked up to the door and was about to knock when I heard a familiar voice. Isabella.
I told you already, I'm done with this. I'm not doing your homework, shoplifting, or going out of my way to be your puppet.
Isabella was making Mandy do stuff. Feeling shocked, I pulled out my phone, opened the door by an inch, and started recording. What I heard next made my head spin.
You'll do as I say, or I'll spill your filthy little secret all over the internet.
I am so sick and tired of this. Tell everyone I don't care.
You, the oh-so-popular Mandy, not caring what people think. Are you really comfortable with people knowing that your father is rotting in jail for fraud, while you and your mother are left with nothing and living in this rat hole? I find that hard to believe, given how hard you've been trying to keep up appearances in school.
I've done everything you've asked me to do since you read my diary and discovered my secret. You made me tamper with the chandelier at Anna's concert. She could have gotten seriously hurt. I should have never agreed to do it. It's been giving me nightmares.
But if you don't do as I say, I'll tell everyone what you did. Oh yes, I recorded it, and then they'll go meet Daddy in jail.
Do your worst, Isabella. I don't care.
I watched in horror as Isabella picked up a bat and raised it at Mandy. I flung open the door and rushed up to Isabella. Did you completely lose your mind? What have I ever done to hurt you? How could my own sister hate me so much?
Now because you overshadowed my life? You should have never been in the picture, and I'd do anything to bring you down.
Isabella lunged at me with a scream, but the commotion had attracted the attention of some neighbors who came running in and held Isabella. Someone called the police, who took her away. I was still reeling with shock when Mandy turned to me.
You helped me. Why?
We may have our differences, but I couldn't let Isabella blackmail you or hurt you.
Thanks, Anna.
No problem. That's what friends are for.
Friends? Are we friends?
Maybe we could try. Crazier things have happened. My parents' world turned upside down when I showed them Isabella's video. They decided to get Isabella evaluated. We're told that Isabella had some problems. He was taken to a facility to get the help she needed. I've been pointing out Isabella's issues, but you've always just let them slide. If we'd gotten her help earlier, things might have been different.
Anna, we're sorry for not treating you both fairly.
We're starting to see how our actions have affected you both. We want to do better. Can you forgive us?
It's going to take some time, but maybe going to therapy together could help us improve as a family. Hearing this, my parents nodded their heads in agreement. At school, Mandy and I even smiled at each other. Finally, the day of the big audition for the scholarship arrived, and I saw Mandy backstage looking super nervous.
I don't think I can do this.
You can, and you will break a leg.
Thanks, you too.
Oh, I'm not auditioning. I thought I should give you a fair shot.
Oh, because you think you're better than me and I have no chance against you?
No, because I think you'll beat my butt, and I'd rather not be humiliated, and you need this more than I do. I'll be cheering for you, though. Mandy gave an amazing performance that received a standing ovation, and she on the spot. I learned that showing kindness to a rival can turn a bitter battle into an unexpected friendship.
Hello everyone, my name is Diana. Before we get into my story, please like and subscribe. I was born in a tiny town in America, in an old house where my mom had grown up. Our cleaning lady once told me that Mom used to be the most beautiful woman around, and when she walked by, everyone stopped to look at her. She'd left for Hollywood, but she returned when she was pregnant with me. But the version of Mom I knew was not very glamorous. She hardly left the house and spent all day watching soap operas. She was obsessed and was always trying to copy the actress.
This woman is the worst actress ever. I can do better. Yeah, that role would have been mine if I didn't give up my career.
Mom didn't say it exactly, but I always felt like I'd gotten in the way of her acting dreams and a different life. Sometimes I kind of felt bad for her, and I tried not to bother her so much. She came in wearing jewelry and some flowy silk gown that was too tight. Did she think she was at the Oscars? She catwalked down the hallway and flirted with all my male teachers. It was so embarrassing. Why did you have to act that way, Mom? Couldn't you just be normal?
What? I'm just being myself. I'm an actress. Looking and being a certain way is all part of it.
Mom, I'm just a kid. I don't care about your acting and all that. I just want you to be a normal mom. Over time, Mom and I grew more distant, and by the time I was 12, we were living like housemates that barely spoke to each other. One time in 8th grade, I'd asked to borrow some of her clothes for a talent show, but I didn't bother inviting her. To my surprise, though, Mom walked in halfway into the show, and she looked totally normal, just like all the other parents. But soon after, a girl was performing a one-man show, and suddenly I saw Mom running up to the stage and grabbing the mic from her.
Honey, that was so embarrassing I just couldn't watch anymore. You have to play each character as if you are the character. Look deep into your soul. Come on now, try it again, and maybe you can do one character with a British accent.
She started speaking in a terrible British accent. The girl looked as confused as the audience, and I was beyond embarrassed.
Hey, isn't that Diana's wacky mom?
I ran away to hide in the bathroom. I couldn't even do my act anymore. Once the show was over and everyone left, I came out to the parking lot to find Mom there.
Hey, I was waiting for you.
Why did you come here? Was it to humiliate me?
What? No, I came to support you.
Then, why couldn't you just sit quietly instead of jumping onto the stage and snatching the mic from a kid?
I was doing her a favor, and she'll remember me forever for those tips. Come on, let's go home.
I'm gonna walk home. In fact, I'm gonna walk all the way to China if that's what it takes to get away from you.
Diana, watch out.
I suddenly felt something hit me with force and I went flying. I saw a blinding white light, and then I passed out. I woke up to Mom's worried face and realized I was in the hospital. Mom told me that I'd been hit by a car, I'd broken my leg, and I had to use a cane now. For how long?
A few months at least. We can't be sure when it'll be fully healed. And you might end up with a small limb.
I'm so sorry, baby. This is all my fault.
That day I cried so much I thought my eyes were gonna fall out. I tried to stay mad at Mom, but I couldn't. She wasn't great, but I knew she didn't wish for this. When we got home, Mom tried so hard to be the perfect caregiver, but I knew she was struggling. It just didn't come naturally to her, but she never stopped apologizing.
Baby, this is all my fault. In times like this, I wish I was more like Carol.
Carol was my mother's sister who lived in New York when I was younger. I always wished she was my mom. She had 2 kids, Theo and Becky, and the holidays I spent with my cousins were my favorite memories. Auntie Carol is quite amazing, and it would be nice to see Theo and Becky.
Do you think spending some time with them would make you feel better?
Yes, yes, yes!
If that's what you want, love.
And soon enough, I was heading for New York. But my first disappointment came at the airport when I saw Aunt Carol wasn't even there to pick me up. When she didn't show up after a while, I called her. It turned out she'd forgotten.
I am so sorry, honey. There was a little situation at the kids' school.
She still looked like the amazing aunt I remembered, but something about her also felt different. And when we got to her house, it was really quiet. As Aunt took my luggage to my room, I wandered into the kitchen to find Theo making a sandwich. "Hey Theo, it's so good to see you." Theo just looked at me blankly, then walked off without a word. What the heck? Didn't he remember me? Just then, someone almost knocked me out with a bear hug.
Oh my gosh, you're finally here. I've been waiting all day. Gosh, I missed you. How are you? Well, I know you're a little sad, but I got you now.
Thank God. Becky was the same chatterbox I knew. We talked and laughed for hours. Hey, is Theo okay? He was so weird to me earlier. Becky's face instantly fell, and she looked like she was going to cry.
Yeah, that's him these days. Mom thinks it's just a puberty phase, but it's more than that. He's changed so much I hardly know him anymore. But at least I have you now.
In the coming days, I got to see the new Theo myself. He never spoke to anyone and spent all his time in his room playing video games. One day, Aunt had to go in to make him clean his room. But Theo started yelling like a crazy person.
Leave my room right now! Get out!
One day, Aunt was having a garage sale, and Becky, me and I were helping her out, when suddenly a police car pulled up with Theo in it.
Is this your son? He was caught stealing cigarettes and magazines at the mall.
All our neighbors were staring at the spectacle, and Aunt's face was red with embarrassment. The policeman let Theo go because he was a first-time offender. But that day, Aunt snapped.
Why have you decided to humiliate me? I work my butt off for you to have everything, and you go around stealing and what you're smoking now.
That's none of your business, and if my allowance was enough, I wouldn't have to go around stealing, would I? So maybe you're not working hard enough.
Hey, stop that! You're being rude. You know your mom worked so hard.
Who asked you? This is a family matter, and just because your mom dumped you here doesn't mean you get to butt into everything.
I was so sick of his stupid attitude. I hit him with my cane, and we got into a fight, and Aunt had to separate us.
That's enough. Theo, apologize right now.
From that day, Theo and I were dead to each other. I didn't care anyway, as long as I had Becky with me. Aunt Carol registered me at my cousin's school soon, which Theo looked very unhappy about since we were in the same grade. On our first day, Theo cornered me right after Aunt dropped us off.
Listen, just stay away from me. Mind your own business, and as far as anyone knows, we are not related. Understood?
It was my first time in school since the accident, and I was nervous. But the students here were really nice. They helped me up the stairs and even helped me find my class. I had a feeling I was going to love it here. But when the bell rang for recess, I noticed the strangest thing ever. A group of boys ordered Theo to pick up their books and put them in their lockers, and he did without a word, like he was their servant. During lunch, I noticed him with the same boys again. This time, they made him fetch their lunch, and while he was balancing all the trays, someone bumped into him, and he fell down, and those jerks all laughed at him. Hey, what's the deal with that boy?
So that poor boy is Theo, and that blonde guy in their group is Billy, and the rest are his minions. They've been hurting Theo forever. One time Theo reported Billy and got him into detention, and since then it's gotten so much. Worse, like they're really trying to punish him. Sometimes I feel bad about not helping him, but we're all scared of those jerks.
My heart broke into a million pieces. Theo was being bullied by monsters, and why hadn't Becky said anything? You must know what Theo is going through. Why haven't you told Aunt all this time?
Diana, Mom works for the company Billy's dad owns, and you don't know how far Billy can go to make someone miserable. He's a spoiled brat, and if he asked his dad, Mom would lose her job in a second. Theo has forced me to stay quiet and says he can put up with it. He says things will be worse if he doesn't.
I tried to understand her point of view, but I just couldn't. This had to stop. That night, I went to Theo's room. Listen, I'm really sorry for the way Billy is treating you, and he needs to be punished.
Didn't I ask you to mind your own business? And it's not how it looks. I do stuff for those guys and get paid for it.
You get paid to run around like their errand boy. That's humiliating. Let me help you.
No, you'll make it worse. It's just for a few more months and then we'll graduate. I'm handling it just fine.
No, you're not. You are hurting, and everyone close to you is hurting too. Can't you see it?
Leave me alone.
but I just couldn't. So the next day I made videos every time I saw Billy bully him, then sent them to the principal's email address. The next day, I felt a million butterflies when I found out that Billy had just been called in by the principal and suspended for 2 weeks. Not long enough, but a little justice. But when I got home, Theo was furious.
I told you to leave it alone. He's gonna come back and have my head.
No, he won't. The principal knows now.
You are such a dumb, nosy idiot. You think the principal will actually take serious action against someone like Billy? Thanks for ruining my life.
For the entire 2 weeks, he was so paranoid and looking over his shoulder and the date Billy was supposed to be back. I noticed tears in Theo's eyes. I silently prayed that he'd leave Theo alone and that I hadn't made things worse. But during lunch that day, I noticed a crowd gathered outside. I got closer and saw Theo surrounded by Billy and his boys. OMG, they were going to hurt him. Hey, leave him alone, stop it! But no one heard me. Then suddenly, I felt a huge force rush through my legs, and I charged forward and hit Billy in the knees with my cane. He fell to the ground and stared at me furiously. Theo had grabbed Billy by the collar and punched him in the face.
No one messes with my cousin.
Luckily, someone had called the principal to the scene, and everyone said that Billy tried to hurt me. The principal told him he was expelled.
You can't do that. Do you know who my father is?
Oh, yes, I know, son. And I'm sure he wouldn't want word getting out that his son goes around beating kids with disabilities. That wouldn't be good for his reputation. You hurt a girl with a cane. I'll talk to your father right now.
Billy was indeed expelled, and his minions were suspended. For the rest of the term, Billy's father also reached out to Aunt Carol to apologize and promised that his son would not be bothering her family again. After it was all over, Aunt Carol turned to Theo in tears.
I should have known I'm such a bad mom.
No, you're not, Mom. You're the best, and I'm sorry for all the hurt I've caused you.
And then he pulled me into their hug too.
Thank you for everything. I really owe you one.
I'm just happy to have you back, cousin. From that day, things changed. Theo started to get better and becoming his old self, and my leg had started recovering too. I would now walk for short distances without my cane, and I didn't have a limp. One day, we were having dinner when someone knocked on the door. It was Mom, and she looked different. For the first time, she looked happy. She told us she'd gotten an opportunity to be in a big movie in LA, but she turned it down to take me home.
I'm so happy you're getting better. I want to be there for you during your recovery. I'm learning slowly, but I do want to be the best mom for you, really.
Mom, I really appreciate that, but you have to take that role. You'd be crazy to turn it down.
What?
It's your dream, and I'm happy here. Go to LA, become the biggest movie star, then come back to me. I know you love me, and I love you too, but sometimes the best way to show love to someone is by loving yourself.
Hi, I'm Clover, and boy, have I got a crazy story to share with you. But before I spill the beans, please like and subscribe. Growing up, my mom and I were constantly butting heads. She was a marine biologist and dreamt of making me some kind of scientist too. Unfortunately for her, I loved fashion. The only person who got me was Mom's sister, Aunt Lydia. Aunt Lydia ran a small boutique in the city, and even though she didn't make much money, she was the happiest person I knew. She always encouraged me to pursue my interest in fashion and even taught me to sew. Every day, I would skip school and run to my aunt's boutique to watch her work. And while I loved it, it didn't reflect well on my report card.
You got a F in science again? You go to the best school, you have the best tutors, and you still disappoint me. When I was your age, I didn't even have a school in my area. I had to walk 10 kilometers, cross a desert, swim through a canal, and walk over 3 bridges to reach the nearest school. It was tough, but I was determined to make a life for myself.
That's an exaggeration.
You don't get in the middle of this. You're ruining my daughter's life. Just you ruined yours.
You're jealous. I'm happier than you'll ever be.
If by happy you mean as poor as a street rat, then congratulations. You take the cake.
Mom and Aunt Lydia fought a lot that night. And the next day, Aunt Lydia told me she was moving to another town.
Are you leaving because of Mom?
No, sweetie. I'm leaving because I want to explore new opportunities.
Then take me with you. I hate going to school anyway.
You will finish your school and then follow your dreams. Now, I have something to keep you company while I'm gone.
Aunt Lydia handed me the keys to her boutique and the cutest Pomeranian puppy I'd ever seen in my life, Bonnie, and she became my best friend. Of course, I missed my aunt, but with Bonnie by my side, I felt less lonely. She followed me everywhere, and to my mom's horror, even slept in my bed. Even my friends adored Bonnie, and they gave me the idea to start a vlog based on her. I posted a bunch of videos with Bonnie, but what really picked up was when I started posting videos of us dressed in coordinated outfits. By the time I was 17, my vlog with Bonnie got really popular, and people even started reaching out for custom orders. I had my aunt's old sewing machine, so I started taking orders online and finally had my own business. Life was good, but Mom still thought I was wasting my time. Not that I cared. I was busy making my dreams come true. Then, one evening, I was out walking with Bonnie when I noticed a cute ribbon shop. I was checking it out when suddenly Bonnie started growling. I turned around and saw this girl staring in her face.
I knew it was you! You're the girl who dresses up like her dog on her vlog.
Excuse me?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I meant that as a compliment. I'm a big fan.
Her name was Daisy, and she told me she was new to the neighborhood. We talked for a while before I noticed that it was late, so I left. The next morning, I had one of my big arguments with Mom. So I was in a really sour mood, and as soon as I walked into my class, I saw Daisy sitting at the back. She saw me too and slid into the seat next to mine.
We meet again! It's like we're destined to be friends. Anyway, we couldn't talk properly yesterday. You see, I had this really bad toothache. I was a kid when I slipped on a mop and broke my front tooth, and it just never got better. You want to see?
That's interesting, but I really need to focus on this class, Daisy.
But why do you need to study? You're so famous and talented. Studies are for losers. You know what? We should totally hang out after school, and I'll show you this cool place. This rock is shaped like a weird tarantula. It's...
Oh my god! Just stop talking! You're giving me a migraine! What part of I need to focus do you not understand?
I've been a bit louder than I thought in. The whole class fell silent while Daisy looked really hurt. I wanted to apologize immediately, but before I could, the teacher asked me to leave for disrupting the lesson. Later that day, I saw Daisy sitting in the cafeteria alone and walked up to her.
Can we talk? No. Need to focus on this spoon so I can bend it with my mind.
I'm sorry. I had a really bad argument with my mom and took it out on you. It's just that my mom doesn't get me. She just wants me to do whatever she's saying without thinking about what I want.
I get it! Parents can be so weird sometimes. My dad's a lawyer and wants me to be just like, but I want to be a stand-up comic. Do you want to hear a joke? Why does an ant never get sick? Because it has antibodies. Oh, one more. Why does the ant never smell bad? Because it wears deodorant. Get it? Get it. It's hilarious, right?
I couldn't help laughing. And after that, we ended up spending the whole day together. Daisy was nuts, but she really appreciated my work and had all these amazing ideas for my business. I won't lie, it felt good to be taken seriously. Soon, Daisy started helping me with my videos, and she hung out at my house all the time. I enjoyed her company, but for some reason, Bonnie just couldn't warm up to her. Once, we were shooting in my living room one day, when suddenly Bonnie charged at Daisy and grabbed her pants. Daisy lost her mind and jumped in panic. They went round and round in circles before Daisy tripped and fell into this huge shelf full of Mom's medals and trophies, and everything came crashing down. Mom heard the noise and came running.
What have you done? I worked 850 hours every week to earn these!
Oh wow, you did all that and they only gave you this junk? That's sad.
Who is this stupid girl, and why is she in my house?
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Daisy, Clover's best friend, and you must be her grandma, right? Listen, Grandma, I know you're very hurt that we broke these ugly old trophies, but in my defense, I was being chased by this cute but very ferocious dog, and I just happened to bump into the shelf.
Daisy! She's my mom!
Oh, so you're the dragon lady. She doesn't mean that. Mom, we're really sorry for breaking your stuff, but it was a genuine mistake.
I'm getting tired of your genuine mistakes. Clover, now clear this mess up, and I never want to see this girl in my house again. Am I clear?
After that day, Daisy was banned from my house, which made me so mad. It's not like that was gonna stop me from hanging out with her. Soon, it was time to fill out my college applications. I wanted to apply a design school, but Mom was on my tail to apply for a science program, and we were arguing every day. So one night, when Daisy invited me to hang out with her at this new amusement park, I decided to go because it could really use some fun. But 10 minutes into it, I got a frantic call from Mom saying that someone had broken into our home. I immediately took a cab back home and found Mom standing on the porch with Bonnie.
Are you okay? We're fine, thanks to Bonnie. I was getting dinner ready when she started barking, and then I saw this guy jumping off the backyard fence, so I called the police. I kept screaming, but you weren't in your room. Where were you?
I was hanging out with Daisy, but that's not important.
Really? Just like it's not important to tell your mom that you applied for a design school. I got your acceptance letter in the mail today.
I got accepted. Why didn't you tell me?
Because you're not going. You will go to a science college like I did. Now, I've already spoken to the dean of Harvard, and he's ready to slide a few grades if you do well in your first year in college.
But I want to go to design school. I'm good at this.
Even Daisy! Do you think I care what Daisy says? Also, you should stay away from her.
A lady in the neighborhood was telling me she'd heard Daisy's dad is known to be involved in some shady business deals. She's a bad influence on you.
Of course you don't approve of Daisy. How could you approve of anyone who makes me happy? First Aunt Lydia, now Daisy.
That's not fair, Clover.
Yes, it is. Just like it's fair enough to choose my own career path. I want to study design, so that's what I'll do.
Saying that, I grabbed Bonnie's leash and walked outside. I kept walking till I cooled down, and when I stopped, I realized I was in some unknown street. I was trying to figure out my way back when suddenly this car stopped out of nowhere, pushed me away, grabbed Bonnie, and left. I ran after the car, screaming for help, when I turned a corner and banged right into something, and I fell and passed out. When I woke up, I was in my room with Mom and Daisy staring in my face.
What happened? What is Daisy doing here?
She's the one who found you passed out in front of your school. What were you doing there?
My school, but I remember being out on a walk with Bonnie and then we got lost.
Oh, Bonnie! Someone kidnapped her! I have to find her!
No, have to rest. You're in shock. And as for Bonnie, I'll talk to my dad. I told you he's a lawyer, right? He has friends in the police department who can help.
Daisy spoke to her dad, and we filed an official complaint. But a whole week went by, and we got no leads. I even reached out to my older clients and posted on my vlog, but that didn't work either. I was running out of time and patience, so I decided to speak to Daisy if she could ask her dad to fast-track the case. But when I called her, she didn't answer her phone, so I went to her place. When I saw a truck parked outside and people were moving furniture from inside the house, I got closer, trying to figure out what was happening, when I heard a low growling. I looked around and figured that the noise was coming from one of the crates covered with a huge cloth. I lifted the cloth, and inside was Bonnie and a few other dogs that looked just like her. Bonnie saw me and started barking, and then someone sprayed something in my face. Suddenly, my head started spinning and everything went black. When I woke up, I found myself in the basement, with Daisy sitting in front of me.
Oh my God! What's happening, Daisy? Why am I here?
You talk so much. You're giving me a migraine. That's what you told me in class that day, remember? I wanted to punch your face, but I couldn't because I needed you to get close to Bonnie.
But why?
That's when Daisy told me how a couple of months back, her dad made a couple of bad investments and lost all their family money.
They lost our house, status, everything. Dad took this huge loan from a crazy mafia lady to start a new business. But that didn't work either. I guess he's just stupid. Anyway, now this mafia lady wants her money back. But obviously, we don't have any. So she gave us this crazy challenge to get her all these Pomeranian puppies. Apparently, these laybags are worth a lot. Also, they're super rare.
But what does this mafia lady want these dogs for?
Make a code or something? Or is she just obsessed with puppies? How the heck am I supposed to know? We managed to get a few of them, but when I saw Bonnie on your vlog, I just knew I had to add her to the collection. So I came here, fooled you into being my friend, and waited for the right time to take Bonnie. Would have gotten to her way sooner, but this stupid dog almost bit my dad. He had to jump off the fence, and he broke his knee. He's been limping ever since.
So, it was your dad who broke into my house that night. How could I have been so blind to have trusted a snake like you?
No clue! Guess you're as stupid as my dad. Told you, I'm funny!
That's not funny.
I turned around and saw Mom standing in the doorway, along with Bonnie and a few policemen.
I always knew you were trouble.
Daisy growled at my mom before the police handcuffed her and dragged her away. Bonnie jumped in my lap and started licking my face.
How did you find me, Mom?
After Bonnie's kidnapping, I got paranoid and installed this tracking app on your phone.
What? Relax!
I didn't see you in your room, so I thought you might be at Daisy's.
I'm so sorry, Mom. I should have taken your advice and never trusted her blindly.
The truth is, you trusted Daisy because she showed faith in you, which I never did. And I'm really sorry. I've decided I'm sending you to Lydia next month. Her business is growing, and she could use an extra hand.
Really? I love you, Mom. You're the best. Hi, I'm Mandy. Please like and subscribe, and tomorrow you will have the best news. Growing up, we moved around a lot because my parents were journalists. I got really good at making friends quickly, but holding on to any of them was tough since I always ended up leaving, no matter how many of my so-called besties promised they'd stay in touch. After a while, they never did. It was heartbreaking every time. One day, Mom came home with big news. She got a job in Washington, D.C. for a national newspaper, and we wouldn't have to move anymore. I was so excited. Finally, I would have rooms of our own to decorate, make friends that would last. It was a dream. When I started at my new high school, I was nervous. I had to make an amazing first impression because this one had to stick. When I sat down at my desk in the homeroom, the other kids looked at me like I was an alien until a pretty brunette girl sat down next to me.
Hey, I'm Jasmine. Love your jeans. Where'd you get them?
A thrift store in New York.
Oh my god. Is that where you're from?
Sort of. I told her all about life on the road, and we hit it off right away. I could tell she was popular, and it was easy to see why. Very involved in all sorts of clubs and sports. So charming, and top 2 of our class. She was always competing for the top spot against this one kid, Chase. She warned me about how annoying he was, and I totally agreed. I was stuck next to him in math class, and he was always talking and distracting me from taking notes. From the second we met, Jasmine invited me everywhere with her and her friends. We did our homework together, ate lunch, had sleepovers. It was amazing! Soon after I started school, Jasmine convinced me to come to her French club to see if I wanted to join. She introduced me to her friend Camille, and we had so much fun. We watched French movies and practiced speaking with each other. I joined immediately. They were going to choose 2 students for a summer study abroad in Paris. I just knew it would be a really smart move for my future. One day, I went to Camille's house to study with her, and suddenly, the cutest boy I'd ever seen walked into her kitchen.
Hey, butthead.
Excuse me?
Sorry, that was meant for my dumb little sister.
Ugh, don't listen to him.
I'm Ryan. You must be the famous Mandy I've heard so much about.
Don't you have somewhere else to be?
Nowhere better than right where Mandy is.
Then he smiled the most perfect smile I'd ever seen. I could have melted into a puddle right there. The next day at French Club, I told Jasmine all about him. Oh my god, Jazz, he's on the soccer team. Good at school.
Wow, he sounds like
he perfect package. OMG, he's here. She turned to see Ryan walk into the room right then suddenly. Her eyes turned to ice in front of me.
Ryan? He's my ex.
Oh.
But I mean, if you like him, I guess.
No, of course I wouldn't.
Oh, good, because it'd be so weird. I'm so glad we're friends.
What are you all talking about?
Oh, nothing. It's nice to see you again.
Since when are you in French Club?
Since I found out Mandy joined.
It was so awkward I thought I'd die. Just then, Madame Delacroix clapped her hands.
For announcement time for our upcoming Parents' Night, we will be breaking off into pairs to research and cook a classic French dish.
She started group. And surprise! I got paired with Ryan. For just a second, I thought I could see the ice return to Jasmine's eyes, but she blinked, and it was gone. I felt sort of guilty that I'd be spending so much time with Ryan, but I vowed to keep my promise to Jasmine. Soon after that, I got assigned to help Chase hand out awards at the banquet. Hanging out with him all night would be the perfect punishment for me. A few days later, Ryan and I had to get together at his house to make chocolate mousse, my favorite.
Have you ever made this before?
No, but I've watched my dad make it, so I think Then I started the mixer. It started whipping everything up so fast that our chocolate mixture started flying out of the bowl. Soon we were both covered in chocolate. I was mortified, but Ryan just laughed and swiped some chocolate off my nose.
Looks good to me.
After we got cleaned up, we managed to make a second batch just in time to make it to the event. Madame Delacroix tasted every dish and said ours was the best of all of them. I was pretty proud, and I hoped it would get me some extra points toward the Paris program. Not even having to sit next to Chatterbox Chase all night could ruin my mood. After that, Ryan started asking me to hang out more and more. Soccer games, study sessions, sometimes even trips for ice cream. After, he was really funny, and we liked all the same books. I could tell he liked me, and I was really starting to like him. But I couldn't betray Jasmine. When I told my mom about it, she thought I was being ridiculous.
I don't think Jasmine really has your best interests at heart, Mandy.
She was my first friend here.
But that doesn't make her a good friend. What kind of friend keeps you from being with someone you really like?
It's girl code. So I was definitely surprised the next day, at lunch, when our group started talking about boys to hear Jasmine exclaim,
"Who needs them? I've so moved on from Ryan. I mean, we only dated a few weeks anyway. Mandy, you can have him for all I care."
I was elated to hear her say that, but now I was nervous. I'd never really pursued anyone before, but all the signs were there, and I decided to go for it. Soon after, Ryan hurt his ankle at a soccer match and had to leave the field. We lost. I decided to visit him the next day, especially now that Jazz had given her blessing. When I walked into his living room with some cheery daisies, his whole face lit up, and he pulled me down to the couch in a huge hug. When we pulled away, I felt like I was falling into his beautiful brown eyes. I thought for just a second I might get my first real kiss, but I chickened out. I brought some ice cream too for Sundays.
You're the best, you know that?
We watched TV and ate way too much ice cream, but things felt a little different. He was texting almost constantly, when he usually was always talking to me non-stop. I wondered if I had ruined things by pulling away earlier. I tried to ignore it, but when my mom came to get me, I was sort of glad to leave. For the next few days, I tried to keep my head down and work hard towards the Paris trip, but I was glad for the distraction when Jasmine announced her birthday party to the whole class.
Arcade this weekend. My birthday wish list is on all the invites.
You going?
Of course. Jazz is my best friend.
Sure she is.
Cryptic much. You're so weird. I caught up with her in the hallway after. Can I hitch a ride to your party? This will be so fun. I already have your gift.
My carpool is full already.
Oh, okay. I'll just... But she was already halfway down the hall, leaving me in her dust. I figured she was just distracted about her party and tried not to think about her weird behavior. I texted Ryan to see if he and Shamil wanted to carpool, but all I got were 3 typing bubbles in response, and then nothing. In fact, I didn't hear anything from anyone all weekend. What was going on Saturday, when my mom dropped me off at arcade, a gift in hand for Jasmine, I pasted a big smile on my face as I got out of the car. Chase waved to me and smiled. He really wasn't so annoying, maybe just a little awkward. As we walked into the party room, imagine my shock when I saw Jasmine's stick standing there holding hands with none other than Ryan. A pit dropped to the bottom of my stomach. When she leaned over to kiss him, I thought I'd die. All I wanted to do was run home and curl up under the covers, but I couldn't. It was Jasmine's birthday, my best friend. Still, I was mortified. Everyone knew I liked him, and they had all seen us spend so much time together. Now, he wouldn't even look at me. As everyone started pairing off and heading to the arcade, I realized I didn't have a partner. Blinking back tears, I suddenly felt a warm hand on my shoulder.
Hey, let's pair up for a round.
Sure. Chase and I played through, and even though I had a pit in my stomach, we actually had a lot of fun. He was pretty good, and even when I danced offbeat, he pretended not to see it. When we went inside for Jasmine's cake, I tried to put on a brave face, but when Ryan leaned over to help her blow out her birthday candles and Jasmine turned to smile at me with a gleam in her eye like nothing was wrong, I knew I had to leave. I snuck out to the bathroom to call my mom to get me, and as soon as I got into her car, I burst into tears and cried all the way home. And even though Chase texted me to check on me, and Camille did too, the one person who I actually thought would worry enough to reach out never did. I didn't hear from Jasmine until Monday, in homeroom.
Mandy, why'd you leave my party? The cake was so good.
Why did I leave? Jasmine?
What?
You have to know why I left.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You knew I liked Ryan. You told me you'd moved on, and all of a sudden you show up with him without telling me.
How can you be mad? He was my boyfriend.
Your ex-boyfriend that you said I could pursue. Why tell me that if you wanted him back all along?
See, this is why we kept it quiet. We knew you'd be upset.
What?
We got back together the day he got hurt at his soccer match. He wanted to tell you, but we all knew you'd just be upset.
So you've just been lying to me for weeks? All of you. Jazz, how am I supposed to trust anything any of you say?
All's fair in love and war.
And with that, she flipped her hair over her shoulder and switched desks. I was devastated. My first real friend. And everything had gotten so messed up. What had I missed? When I saw Ryan walking home from school, I sped up to catch him. What the heck, Ryan? I thought we liked each other. And then you show up like that with Jasmine and totally blindside me.
I didn't know you liked me.
Oh, come on. The ice cream, the flowers. You knew I liked you. There have been several moments and I didn't just imagine that you liked me too.
I did, but you never said anything.
Well, neither did you.
And then when Jasmine came to me after I got hurt saying she wanted to get back together, why would I turn her down when I wasn't even the one to break up with her?
Like me. Don't like me? Fine. But you could have had the decency to say something before just showing up like that and humiliating me. I deserve better than that. I tried to put on a brave face at school. After all, hadn't I been a lone wolf for my whole life? But I'd gotten so used to having a friend at school that I suddenly felt the absence. Luckily, Chase came to sit by me the first time he saw me sitting alone at lunch. I couldn't see why I'd hated him so much for so long, other than the fact that Jasmine didn't like him. He was so sweet and really smart. Even though I avoided Jasmine and Ryan at all costs, I refused to quit French club. As the weather got nicer, Chase tried to get me to come out to soccer games, parties, concerts. But my sole focus was on school. I was more determined than ever to get one of the spots to go to Paris and prayed that Jasmine wouldn't get the other one. Chase became my favorite study buddy. He was almost as determined as I was for me to win the top spot on the Paris trip. On the last day of school, our report cards came out straight A's. Chase and I got big ice cream sundaes after school to celebrate. As I looked across the table at him, I thought about everything that had happened with Jasmine and Ryan and our whole big group, and I decided I was so glad to have one actual good friend instead of a bunch of not-so-great ones. Afterwards, Chase and I walked down the National Mall as the sun set. So, Mr. Number 1 in the class, how does it feel?
I'm just glad to have beat her, to be honest, especially after everything that happened with you.
I can take care of myself.
I know, but from day one you seemed so nice, and I tried to make friends with you so quickly because I knew she'd come after you right away.
What do you mean?
Jasmine and I have been in the same class since kindergarten. She has always kept the girls she was most afraid of close. You know, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
But I was never her enemy.
She's always been afraid of the smart, pretty girls in our grade. Even if you don't see it, trust me. To her, you were a threat.
Wow, I had no idea. But if I had to go through all that to become friends with you, it was worth it. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Madame Delacroix. Hello?
Mandy, I'm pleased to inform you that you have been selected for this summer's study abroad in Paris. Pack your bags, mademoiselle. I am so proud.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I mean, merci beaucoup. When we hung up, I squealed. Oh my God! I'm gonna have a stamp in my passport. Suddenly, Chase's phone rang. And when he saw the caller ID, he looked up at me with a gleam in his eye. I could barely contain my excitement. And when he finally said, "Thank you," and hung up, he turned to me with a huge smile.
Looks like I'll have a matching stamp.
Paris? Together? I threw my arms around him, overjoyed to be off on a big adventure with my favorite first real friend.
Hi, I'm Layla, and I figured out 2 things very early in life. 1, my older sister Fiona is dumb. And 2, she really hates me. Fiona is a year older than me, but it didn't take me too long to catch up with her. I was talking before she did, and I learned how to read while she was still struggling with the alphabet. My parents loved showing me off, and I think it really bothered Fiona.
Sweetie, why don't you recite the poems you learned for our guests?
Layla, tell your aunt the cool thing that you read in your encyclopedia yesterday.
Just then, Fiona came running, wearing her bathing suit over her clothes.
Look at me! I look like a mermaid in my baby soup!
Your what?
My baby soup, Mom. Baby soup? This, You don't understand anything I say. Oh, just help me take it off. It's stuck in my limbo.
I think she's saying her bathing suit is stuck in her elbow, Mom.
Oh, I see, Layla. You're so bright, silly Fiona.
Did I mention that? I sometimes taught Fiona the wrong words because it was funny when she sounded stupid? Yeah, I'm not very proud of that now. But that's not the only reason she hated me. I was the only one in my family with red hair, and my parents loved it, especially Mom, who would do all sorts of hairstyles.
Layla, your hair looks so magical. Let's try braids today.
You know why it looks magical? Because she's a leopard clown.
You mean a leprechaun? She told me all the time that my parents pretended to like my red hair, so I wouldn't feel bad.
When you were born, Mom and Dad cried tears of ugliness for days. They even tried to give you up for adoption. No one wanted you.
And one time she even tried to chop my hair off. And things got worse when in 8th grade she failed a class and ended up being with me. As if our parents weren't enough, our history teacher, Miss Sheldon, loved comparing her to me in front of everyone.
Your assignment is just appalling, Fiona. Did you see your sisters? Magnifique! Why can't you be more like her? Didn't you do any research?
What's there to research? Someone ugly said something dumb to someone boring a long time ago. And then some lame war broke out. Who cares about this stuff?
A person who wants to have an educated mind?
Who cares what's on the inside when the package is this pretty?
Looks are not important.
Huh? That's ugly people talk. Did your boyfriend ever say that? Oh, wait. I bet you've never had one.
Detention. Now.
The next day before history class, I saw Fiona putting a mug of coffee on Miss Sheldon's table. While everyone else was snickering, I was instantly suspicious. Fiona, what are you up to?
What? I'm just trying to make up for my behavior yesterday.
What did you put in there?
I don't know. Maybe some spit, maybe some laxative, maybe both. Who can say?
Just then, Miss Sheldon walked in, and Fiona handed her the mug sweetly with an apology. But I tried taking it away from her. I really don't think you should have that.
Why?
I just don't think it's a good idea.
Why? Is there something in the coffee? Layla, tell me now.
No, I just don't think you need to drink coffee. It gives you really bad breath. Give that to me, please. I ended up spilling the whole thing on her white coat.
Oh my God, you dumb butt kisser. You ruined my whole plan.
The next thing I knew, I was in detention too, with Fiona for the very first time in my life. But suddenly, Fiona was freaking popular. No one liked Miss Sheldon much, and everyone thought Fiona was super cool for trying to mess with her. And now she was using her newfound power to turn everyone against me. She was the beautiful, fun blonde, and I was the red-haired, nerdy sister being called things like Carrot Top and Ketchup Head. Boy, could girls be mean. Eventually, the teasing got old, or I just learned to ignore it. But soon I was given an assignment in history class to do a presentation on Scotland. The more I studied, the happier I felt. There were so many cool red-headed Scots, and I definitely felt better about my hair. Before class, I went to the bathroom to change into a kilt. I had spent hours making it just for the presentation. But just then, my sister walked in. She pulled out her phone and started taking pictures.
Going back home, Leprechaun.
Buzz off, Fiona!
You look so stupid. What is that? A cool girl skirt?
It's a kilt. Get out of my way!
You can't leave yet. Leprechauns can't travel without a rainbow.
With that, she pulled out some paints from her backpack and squirted them all over my outfit. I ran out of the bathroom, crying angry tears. Fiona did get detention, but it was her millionth time, and she didn't give a hoot. The next year, I got a fresh start. Our dad had gotten a new job across the state, which meant I was going to a new high school. I was determined to end the teasing that my red hair gave me. Hey, Mom, now that I'm 16, I think I should get to make some choices about my hair. I'd like to change the color.
But your hair is beautiful, sweetie.
I know you like it, Mom, but I just want to try something a little more mature, you know?
I guess if that's what you want, you're growing up so fast.
Thanks, Mom! I ran straight to the store and bought a box of black hair dye, and it worked. My hair was dark and silky. No more red.
Do you think that'll fool anyone? You can't cover up what you are, little leprechaun.
Whatever, Fiona. Don't you have something stupid to do? Go away!
Just saying. The truth always comes out.
The first day of school was like a dream come true. No one said anything about my hair. I blended right in and even got a few compliments on my cute outfit, which I'd added some accessories to myself. Fiona was right back in with the cheerleaders, but this was the first time she and I were in a co-ed school, and being around boys was making her even dumber.
The football captain and I went out last night, but he never called or texted me back. I don't get it. I think he was even hiding from me in school.
Okay, how did the date go?
It was amazing, like we were meant to be. There was just one awkward moment when this weird girl came to our table and started flirting with him. And I bit her hand really hard. I'm sure she got the message that he's not interested in her. He was just too nice to say it.
You scared him off, you psycho! How about you don't act like a jealous, blood-sucking vampire next time? But she continued her serial dating and getting heartbroken, and I was getting sick of her stories. It's not like she took my advice. Other than that, school was going great. I was doing well in my classes and had even joined the drama club as a costume designer. A play was being held soon, but the main actor fell ill right before the performance. I had to make sure his understudy fit in the costume, but I didn't even recognize him. I ran frantically through the dressing room shouting, "Hey! Is there anyone named Skylar here?"
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, I need you to take off your clothes right now. He grinned, and I blushed as people around us started laughing. I didn't... Okay, wait. Let me start over. You need to try this on right now, and I have to make sure this fits you. I'm the costume person, not a pervert.
I know, I've seen you around, Layla. Right. I'll just change into this and be right back.
This Skylar was freaking cute, and he knew my name. His shirt was missing a button, and my heart was skipping beats as I stitched it on. There! You're all set!
Thanks, Layla. Wish me luck!
Break your legs! A leg? Only one? Single! Just a figure of speech, anyway. Ugh, gosh, I sounded dumber than Fiona. So I was quite surprised when Skylar came and sat next to me at recess the next day. He was funny and sweet, and I was having a great time talking to him.
By the way, I'm part of the student council, and currently we're deciding on a theme for the homecoming dance. Any ideas? I can never think of anything other than sports themes.
If you like sports, maybe you could do the Scottish Highland Games.
Wow, I love Scottish stuff. This is a really good idea. Thanks, Layla.
Just then, Fiona dropped her butt right next to him.
Mind if I join your table? I'm Fiona, Layla's sister.
Don't mind at all.
Also, I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. Homecoming is all about the football games. We should totally do a varsity theme. I'll wear my cheerleading outfit. It'll be so cool.
I was fuming. I couldn't believe she was butting herself into this too. Didn't she have enough guys to date? They just couldn't let me be happy. I spent the rest of lunch just sitting there and listening to them talk about school sports. A couple of weeks passed, and neither Skylar nor Fiona talked to me. But I was busy with my studies and my friends, and I was happy for a change. I wasn't going to be bothered by some guy I barely knew. But then one day, Skylar stopped me in the hall on the way to class.
Hey Layla, wait up. Sorry, I haven't been around much. I've been super busy getting everything ready for homecoming week.
Oh yeah, it's whatever. I've been really busy too.
Well, I hope you're not too busy to maybe go to the dance with me. If you aren't going with anyone else.
The dance? With you? I'd love to.
Great, I'll meet you there.
I couldn't believe it. No teasing, new friends, and even a date to homecoming? I was practically skipping everywhere the rest of the day until I got home.
Word around school is that Skylar asked you to homecoming?
Yeah, and?
Well, I'm here to tell you that he isn't going with you. He is going with me.
Says who?
Says this.
She held up her phone and showed me the picture she had taken of me in a kilt with my bright red hair. Hey, get rid of that!
Tell him you can't go with him, or I show this picture to the entire school.
No, don't you dare!
It's up to you.
Fine. I didn't want to go to that stupid dance anyway. The next day at school, I told Skylar I wasn't going to go to the dance with him. He tried to change my mind, but there was no way I was going to let him see that picture of me. He looked a bit hurt, and I felt awful, but I didn't have a choice. The night of the dance, I tried to stay home. But the thought of Fiona laughing and having fun with Skylar made me feel like I might explode. I quickly got ready, then sped my car to the dance. I burst through the doors and saw Fiona dancing, surrounded by her friends. But I didn't see Skylar anywhere. Just then, there was a hand on my shoulder.
Layla, I thought you couldn't make it.
Yeah, me too, 'cause I was scared.
Scared of what?
Of you finding out the truth. Fiona was beside us with her phone in her hand. Within a few seconds, everyone's phones were going off, including Skylar's. He pulled it out of his pocket and opened a message. And there was that picture of me. She had sent it to everyone.
Wait, is that you, Layla?
You know what? Yeah, that is me. I dyed my hair black, but it's actually red as a tomato. And if you hate it, then you're all just shallow and stupid.
Hate it? I love it.
What? What?
Layla, you're cool the way you are.
So are you. May I have this dance? You may just give me 1 second, though. Listen, you bimbo. I've kept putting up with you and making excuses for your behavior, but I've had enough. You tried your best to humiliate me, but it was an epic failure, so in your face. Now please get a life and act less desperate, and I'm sure you'll be able to land a boyfriend with the same IQ as you. Just leave me alone, okay? That weekend, I took the dye out of my hair, and Fiona dyed hers red. But it wasn't real, not like mine. I was beautifully red-headed and very happy to be me.
While Mom was at work, I crept into her bedroom and searched her closet and all her drawers for evidence of something. I lifted up a blanket from her bed and almost had a heart attack. Hi, I'm Nancy from China. See, my mom, she was the prettiest girl in our whole town. She literally won the Chinese beauty pageant 5 years in a row and became rich from it. Everyone would stop her in the streets to tell her how beautiful she was. Best of all, Dad adored Mom to bits and was always showering her with gifts. And then I was born.
Oh, darling, she looks exactly like you. Same lips and cheeks.
You and Nancy should compete in pageants together when she gets older.
Well, that's exactly what we did. When I was 3, Mom and I competed in duo pageants, winning every time and soaking out the glory. Then one day, when I was 10, I was in my dressing room when I heard Mom had to be rushed to the hospital.
What's going on? Is she hurt?
It's her skin. It's become completely wrinkled and inflamed. The doctors think she has a rare and untreatable condition.
What do you mean untreatable? I want to see my mom. Now!
No, Nancy, the pageant is in 3 minutes. You'll have to go on without her.
I was totally powerless, but I did end up winning first prize. Sadly, everyone was too depressed to celebrate. Mom looked like a freaking 80-year-old with red lumps on her face.
It's obvious. I won't be able to compete with you anymore. Look at me.
Mom! Don't talk that way. Hell will always be beautiful in my eyes.
Oh, spare me. Nancy, I don't want your pity. I felt so awful.
And as I continued competing in pageants, people constantly compared me to my mom, especially my grandma.
It's heartbreaking what happened to my daughter's skin. It's too upsetting for me to visit her these days. At least you look the way she used to.
Their comments made me furious. I could feel Mom's growing resentment. Worst of all, the tension was affecting my parents' relationship, and they started fighting all the time. Finally, when I was 16, my parents divorced. Mom got custody since she'd been my primary caretaker, and it was then I decided I'd had enough.
I don't want to be in pageants anymore, Mom. I only did them in the first place because of you. And I don't like how bitter and jealous you get every time I compete.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Why would I be jealous of my own daughter?
Gee, good question. All I know is it just got worse as I got older.
I quit pageants, and then Mom decided to move to the US, which was a big adjustment. And as soon as we settled, she became even more of a nightmare to be around.
That's a disgusting amount of makeup.
But I'm just wearing lip gloss.
Well, you're wearing too much for a girl your age. Wash it off right this second. I don't understand how you can eat all those pancakes and not blow up like a balloon.
Enjoy it while you can. Luckily, my new school became much happier than my home life. One day at school, I asked around to see if I could get an English tutor, since I still wasn't comfortable with the language. All the kids recommended the same guy, someone named Gavin.
He tutors for volunteer hours so it won't cost you anything.
Plus, he's gorgeous. Every girl at school has a crush on him.
Oh, well, I'm not looking to date at the moment. I just want to pass my classes.
But when I met Gavin in the library that day, my heart skipped 10 beats. He looked like a storybook prince. How could I concentrate on homework with that smoke show up in my space?
Are you okay? Your cheeks are bright red and you look adorable.
I do not look adorable. I mean, can we get to work, please? My homework isn't going to do itself.
We sat down to study, and I had to admit, Gavin was as brilliant as he was handsome. But when I started doing my math homework, he kept staring at me with his twinkling dark eyes, which made me nervous.
So are you free to go out this weekend?
Excuse me? I don't want to go out at all. You're just here to tutor me.
I know, but I can't fight my attraction for you. I've never believed in love at first sight until now.
Seriously, does anyone fall for your cringy pickup lines?
Face it, Nancy. I'm smart, I'm funny, and I have great hair. You won't be able to resist me for long.
I couldn't help rolling my eyes at that. Maybe I should get a new tutor. Except that same week, I ended up getting an A on 2 exams.
See? I don't disappoint. Now will you go out with me?
Just because you helped me get a good grade doesn't mean I owe you anything.
Come on, just one date.
With that, Gavin pulled out 2 tickets from his pocket, and holy crud, they were too astounding. Sasha Concert, my favorite singer.
I've been saving these for someone special. Nancy.
Okay, I'll go, but only because I'm a huge Sasha fan. But this is not a date.
The night of the concert, Gavin came to pick me up at 6. But the second Mom saw him, she looked furious and pulled me aside.
Where do you think you're going with that boy?
To Sasha's concert. I already told you I was going with a friend.
Please, do you really expect me to believe Mr. Heartthrob here is just a friend? He'll break your heart just like your father broke mine. You're not going to that concert.
But Sasha's my favorite singer, and you and I both know Dad didn't do anything wrong.
That comment made Mom so angry that she sent Gavin home and me up to my room. I was so mad I was shaking. Then suddenly I heard a noise from my bedroom. It was Gavin.
Hey, I think I'm stuck. You're gonna have to give me a hand.
Oh my God, are you trying to crawl into my room?
Well, you want to go to that concert, don't you? You said you're a huge fan, and if you can fit through this door, you probably won't get.
My heart fluttered as he smiled up at me. There wasn't any harm in going on a date with him, was there? So I crawled over and we went to the concert, and we're running over an hour late.
This is all Mom's fault. It's because of her. We left during rush hour. She's becoming even more of a train wreck since the divorce.
Your parents are divorced? Wow, small world.
Your parents are divorced too?
Well, actually, Mom left us a couple of days ago. She met some guy at work and is leaving my dad to be with him.
Wow, immense. So sorry.
It's fine, I'll get through it.
Gavin didn't seem to want to talk about it anymore. The concert was almost over when we arrived. But Gavin has an idea.
If we stood here, we would have time to listen to the last song.
The last song was a slow one, and I closed my eyes, swaying my shoulders in the wind.
I know your mom isn't perfect, but you sure are beautiful like her.
Ugh, I hate it when people compare me to my mom. Can I be my own person? I'm more than just a pretty face.
I know that. You also have pretty hair.
I slapped him right then, and he leaned in for a kiss. I felt fireworks between us. Then suddenly Gavin pulled away.
No, I can't do this.
What do you mean?
I don't want to fall for you. I'm scared of getting hurt. I don't want what happened to my parents to happen to us.
Dude, we're in high school. I'm gonna run off with some other guy. Your parents' failed relationship doesn't mean you have to live in fear.
But Gavin just said taking me to the concert was a mistake and started driving me home. I felt like such an idiot. Thankfully, Mom was in bed when I got home, and I fell asleep with no trouble. Then, at around 5 a.m., I felt someone's hands on my head. It was Mom.
Nancy goes back to sleep.
At that second, I spotted a pair of scissors in her hands.
What are you doing with those? And why are you holding a strand of my hair? Are you cutting my hair in my sleep?
I just need a couple of strands.
What? Why?
Please don't ask questions.
No, I will ask questions. You can't just cut my hair in my sleep without telling me why.
Watch your tone, young lady. I'm not doing anything wrong here. You need to learn to respect your elders and bite your tongue.
Mom stormed out of my room and slammed the door. She grounded me for a week, but I wasn't gonna let her scare me. While Mom was at work, I crept into her bedroom and searched her closet and all her drawers for evidence of something. Then finally, I lifted up a blanket from her bed and almost had a heart attack. On her bed was an open cardboard box with a pile of my hair strands. How long had she been collecting my hair? I wasn't sure what she was gonna do with it, but I knew one thing for sure. I needed to get away from her. I thought about booking a flight to China to go back and live with Dad. Except, what if he didn't allow me to? The next day at school, I was in the library, when suddenly I saw Gavin sitting across from me reading a book. Oh darn, I'd forgotten to cancel our tutoring sessions.
Nancy, hey.
Hi, look, I won't be needing any more tutoring sessions. I'm moving back to China.
Wait, what? You're leaving?
Yes, and I don't know when I'll be back. You made the right choice not to kiss me at the concert. We would have both ended up hurt. Everyone I've ever been close to in my life has done me wrong or got separated from me. You were right to protect your heart, Gavin.
He stared at me with sad eyes, and I couldn't bear being around him anymore. I went back to the house so I could secretly pack my bags and leave home. But that night, Mom knocked on my door.
Do you have a minute?
What's going on? What's in that box?
Your 18th birthday is tomorrow, so I made you a present.
Oh man, my birthday. I'd completely forgotten. What's this?
You asked why I was collecting strands of your hair. Well, it was to make a quilt with something called dong tai hair embroidery. It's an old Chinese practice. You sew hair strands onto a piece of white silk. My grandmother started a tradition where a mother would embroider a piece, pass it down to their daughter, who would continue the work and keep working on it until it was finished. Then the next daughter in line would receive the quilts as a gift. And that's you.
I was shocked. Mom hated me. There was no reason she'd want me a part of any family tradition.
I don't even remember the last time you gave me any presents, let alone something like this.
Well, it's your 18th birthday, and it's an old family practice. My mother used to tell me back when we were close that she wanted me to continue it. And you are my daughter after all.
Mom hugged me awkwardly, and I tried to feel happy. Maybe I didn't have to run away from home after all. My mother loved me, but I still couldn't sleep that night. I felt in my gut something was off, that Mom didn't give me that blanket for the reasons I thought she did. Suddenly, I heard voices coming from the other room that sounded like a FaceTime conversation.
I can't believe you made me go through all that work to give Nancy that dung tie blanket. She barely even said thank you. I shouldn't even have to ask you to pass that blanket down to your own daughter. I had to offer to take Nancy for the summer so you'd agree to do it, like I haven't already passed down enough to her. Nancy is prettier than I ever was and won more pageants than I ever did. I did what you told me. I gave her the stupid quilt. What more do you want from me?
Well, that all made more sense. Of course, Mom hadn't changed. And of course, she hadn't grown to love me. I refused to speak to both her and Dad that week. And one night, after Mom went to sleep, I threw the dung tie quilt into the fire with my strands of hair and 2 generations worth of work. At school, I still saw Gavin, but I avoided him too. After all, I told him I was leaving the country on the last day of the semester. I was taking my finals, but I was panicking because I didn't know any of the answers. I tried to calm myself with deep breaths, when suddenly some kids ran in.
Miss Benson, someone broke into your car.
And that's when Gavin walked in and sat next to me.
We only have like 2 minutes tops. Give me your test. I'll finish it for you.
No, Gavin, I can't ask you to do that.
But he'd already taken my test and was filling in the answers.
Why was he helping me?
So obviously you didn't move to China in the end.
No, not yet, but I still might, just to get away from everything and everybody. I don't understand, Gavin. Why did you do this for me?
Because I still care about you. I know I wasn't ready to kiss you that night at the concert, but part of me regrets that.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want my parents' divorce to scare me away from falling in love. You told me that night, nothing is worth living in fear for.
Gavin pulled me close, and I felt my heart skip a beat.
Maybe you're right, Gavin. Because my mom didn't know how to love me doesn't mean there aren't other people out there who do.
You mean, like me?
Slow down, buddy. We're not there yet.
I leaned over and kissed him right then. For the first time in ages, I walked home feeling happy. But when I entered the house, I found Mom sitting in front of the fireplace crying.
I can't believe you burnt the family quilt, a 3-generation quilt.
It wasn't a 3-generation quilt because you were never gonna pass it down to me. You only did it because Dad told you to. You know what? I'm done putting up with this. I'm moving out of this house. I'm not gonna live with you anymore.
That summer, Dad let me stay with him in China, as he promised, and Gavin and I applied to the same college and got in. Even after returning to the US, I didn't see Mom, and I also blocked her phone number. But one night at college, I was awake studying when I got a freaking message from Mom on TikTok begging me to call her.
Oh, honey, I'm so glad you called. I've been wanting to talk to you and make amends for a while.
Too late for that. Mom, I really don't have time to talk. I have midterms tomorrow.
Nancy, you didn't let me finish. I've been seeing a therapist and working through my issues. I want to be better. I want a fresh start.
Well, I am glad to hear you're finally getting help. I know you've been suffering for a while, but I can't just forget the way you've treated me all those years. Maybe one day I can forgive you. I just don't know when that'll be.
I understand. Well, if you ever do want to start over, my home is always open to you. I love you, and I'm sorry about everything.
Thanks, Mom. I've always wanted to hear those words from you.